For those of you who do not know who I am, shame on you. No, I'm kidding. My name is Shawna Nelson, and I'm the Director of Sales at the Sheraton Cavalier and the James Hotel. And I've been doing this Shaken with a Twist MC for quite a while. From the very beginning, I enjoy it, I love it, and I'm going to do it until I get fired or they stop paying me. No, they don't pay me. Tonight, we are in for a treat. This is one of my dreams come true. I was telling her, I kind of back in the day was a basketball player, and I always wanted to be on the Husky women's basketball team, but I was going to school, and I'm just going to stick to it, and so this is sort of on my bucket list. This is the highlight of my basketball career, is kind of being right beside the creme de la creme, the girls, and the coach. So yes, it's one of my things. And again, I'm on the stage with the coach and the players who just recently won, round of applause, guys, the CIS National Championships. Oh my God, you got to read this bio. I should read this bio, but I'm going to highlight on a few things. So Lisa is the 5-time Canada West Coach of the Year and 2-time CIS Coach of the Year. She's completed 17 years. It didn't seem like it's that long, but it goes by fast. That's crazy. Yeah. Head coach of the University of Saskatchewan Huskies. She is the head coach of the national team since 2013. 2015, that was the one to remember, though. She led the national team to the first ever Pan Am gold medals in Toronto, defeating the U.S. in the finals. So awesome. She has spent 11 years as assistant coach with the national team from 2001 to 12. And then she was appointed the head coach in 2013. Oh my God, there's so many things here that she's just been awesome. Let's see, in 2014, she led the national team to its 5th place finish at the World Championships in Turkey, and which was the best finish by the national team in over 30 years. Let's see, in the summer of 2012, she was the assistant coach for the women's national team at the London Olympics. And there the team made a dramatic run to the quarterfinals before falling to the USA. Yeah, that's all right. We'll get them in Rio. And the top 8 finish was the best finish of the Olympics in over 2 decades. Huge accomplishment. Great job. And now you are the head coach for the Rio Olympics coming up soon. So she was the assistant coach, now she's a head, so it's gonna go farther. Yeah.
Thank you. I love the enthusiasm because that's gonna balance us out, I think.
Yeah.
I'm a little like down here and she's up here, so we should be a good combo.
Give her more wine. Let's see, we've got, she's played 2 seasons of professional basketball, so she's played it as well, not only a coach, but she's played it in Europe.
Now we're going way back.
There we go.
Really getting deep into the bio.
She was a student athlete for 5 years, where she was a 3-time, am I saying this right?
All-star.
All-star, is that what it is? All-star, and was on the Dean's Honor List, I can't read, I'm sorry, on the Dean's Honor List for 3 years, so she's smart and athletic. Wow. Deadly combination. And she finished her career with McMaster by winning the All-Star Coaches Award of Excellence. Awesome. So with that being said, let's get shaken with Lisa. Woo! So Lisa, please introduce your awesome team that are right beside you.
Yeah, we have some amazing women here tonight to join us. First off, we have Kelsey Trollsrud. All 4 of these women have just completed their CIS eligibility and their degrees at the U of S. So Kelsey Trollsrud is a Saskatoon native, went to Holy Cross, and has played 5 years for us. Next to her is Laura Daly, who actually transferred here from Ontario to join us for her last 2 seasons of eligibility. And Laura was the Canada West most valuable player this season and an All-Canadian.
Wow.
She represented Canada on our development team last summer. So that's Laura. Behind are what's called the Big Bigs. Immediately to my right is
How tall are you?
I'm 6'3".
6'3".
Dallas 6'3", Tay's about 6'1" and a bit. Dallas Emerson is from Prince Albert. She actually was a volleyball player in her former life before we were able to convince her to pick up the orange ball. And Dal is also a former Canada West most valuable player and also represented Canada on our development women's national team. Is that still working? And next to,
There we go.
it is
Yeah.
working? Okay. And next to Dallas is Taya Kujer, and Taya comes from Coaldale, Alberta, and also played 5 seasons with us, and a tremendous team leader and role model for our younger athletes. So those are the 4 that we have here today.
Great. Thank you, ladies, for joining us. I know you've been described, I've read a little bit about you and how people describe you as very calm, no ranting, no raving, no out of controlness. So describe your brand of coaching.
Yeah, I think a few things. For one, I think people innately want to do what you're asking them to do. So when they don't, they are typically the ones that know first and foremost that they've made a mistake. And I'm not too sure coaches, and I certainly don't ascribe to this, in that coaches aren't there to point out the obvious and to let the rest of the gym know that your player made a mistake and to embarrass them. I just don't think that's our role. Instead, I think we need to provide solutions. And so, I don't try to get too worked up in any negative sense. Of course, I'm sure there are examples of when I have. But really, I think my role is to help facilitate and help them achieve their potential, whatever that may be. The other thing is we ask a lot of these student athletes. They're here to get an education. They're working extremely hard at their studies. And they're playing at the highest level possible in terms of basketball in this country. So we demand a lot of them. I think it's important as coaches and as role models for them that we are doing the same thing, that they should feel a lot of trust in our abilities, that we're doing absolutely everything possible to put them in the best situation to be successful. So, again, we're going to work extremely hard, and hopefully they see that, and I think that inspires them to work just as hard.
So Laura, it's obvious that Lisa's style of coaching and leadership is working. I mean, I listed off not even half of what I should have listed off in regards to the accomplishments of Lisa and the team. And of course yourself too, you've got quite a list as well. So, I mean, it's a pretty amazing and impressive successful results. And I mean, you see that. And so how would you describe Lisa's style of coaching and its effect on you as well off court?
Well, deciding to transfer here, a huge decision was I wanted to make the most of my 2 years and be a part of a culture that's serious, but also learning things off the court and things like that. And on my visit, it was the first thing I noticed about the staff and the team. She expects a lot from us, but we also demand that because we wanted the end result to win at the highest level. And one thing I will say is she's very detail oriented. So it could be like the littlest centimeter, but if we're not there, she will let us know. But in a close game, that makes a huge difference if you're going to be on the winning or losing side. Mm-hmm. And then off the court as well, our team takes academics very seriously. And I could honestly say before I did not, but coming here I have made that change, and that's going to help me in the workforce and maybe with furthering my education.
So Lisa, how has coaching affected your life, and what has been your biggest challenge?
Well, I mean, coaching has done everything for me, really. In basketball, I've traveled the world. I mean, I get to work with these wonderful individuals who are extremely motivated and high achievers. And I mean, honestly, the assistant coaches that I also have the opportunity to work with, they are some of my best friends. And, I had an awesome playing experience at McMaster in Ontario. And, I still get together with teammates from 20 years ago. And so I know what kind of an impact a great experience can have on an individual and a person in terms of their success later on in life. And so really that's what I hope for these women and for any players that come through our program. Challenges. Coaching is never done when you leave the office or leave the gym. And so probably one of my biggest challenges is the work-life balance. I mean, you can always watch more game film. You can always make one more recruiting call. You can always make one more recruiting visit. You can, it just really never ends, as I'm sure a lot of women here experience in their own realms and businesses. So that part has been difficult for sure. But again, when you want to be the best, sometimes the balance takes a bit of a back seat. And to be honest, I wouldn't trade anything for what we've been able to accomplish.
So Dallas, What has Coach Lisa taught you besides basketball that you can take with you and employ in life or work?
Wow. Okay. So where to begin? I think first and foremost, like things like professionalism. So Laura talked about detail oriented. So addressing people in emails, that kind of thing. Just the small things that you can gain a lot of respect from, that kind of thing. So I think we all kind of learn that right away, that if you can address someone in your email or in your text, you're going to kind of engage them right away. And another thing for all of us too is the confidence thing that Coach mentioned. So like she said, lots of young women don't have a lot of self-confidence, and I think watching her and having her as a role model for 5 years shows that like we can be strong women in the community, and we can be strong role models for other young girls that want to be university athletes one day. So I think those are two of the major things like punctuality and being on time. All those kinds of things are really highlighted once you get to this level, because like it is a big commitment, and we kind of know what it takes now to win at the highest level, and we know that being on time and being there for everything, practices, lifts, shooting, individuals, all at school, being at classes, is super important to be successful.
Oh my God, you're getting us some good cream of crop girls that are coming into our community. Good for you.
I'm the lucky one, absolutely. I mean, they're impressive women.
Yeah, awesome. So, Lisa, what words of wisdom would you give your younger self starting out in your coaching career?
Yeah, it's going to get better.
Is it there yet? Yeah.
Seriously, back in the day, we struggled to get maybe 4 wins that first season. And there would be, and it was tough slugging for the first few years. And I remember playing some teams, and at that time, Victoria was really a dominant team, and we really played powerhouses at that point. And I remember thinking, how are we ever going to get into playoffs? How are we ever going to beat these teams? Let alone how are we ever going to win a CanWest championship or get to a national championship? So I think I would just say that, yeah, just chill, hang in there. You know what you're doing, and it's gonna get better.
Well, and it obviously has. It has a lot better. Okay, Taya? Am I saying that right? Okay, so Taya, how does Coach Lisa motivate the team? Pick up the team when the odds are stacked against you, and I don't know if they have been because you guys have a pretty good record, but what does she do to get you guys going?
I think that Coach motivates us mostly through empowering us. She always provides us with the skills and tools that we need to be successful, and then the onus is put on us to translate that onto the court. In games when we have been down or really wasn't looking like we were going to win, it's really motivating to see your coach have a lot of confidence in you. And she's always expected us to be the best and hasn't expected anything outside of our skill set that we couldn't provide. So it was never, we need to go on a 20-0 run, or we need to hit crazy shots or do some crazy plays. Like, we just need to stick to the game plan and we'll be successful. And she's always expected the highest goals and highest expectations out of everybody on the team. Whether you're a starter, you play off the bench, you're in your first year, 5th year, it doesn't really matter. She has high expectations and high standards for everybody to meet them. And there's games when we were up by 20 and she'd say, we're up by 20, let's get up by 30. And then we'd get up by 30 and she'd say, well, let's go up by 40. And we'd look and you're crazy, lady. We're up by 20. What more do you want? And I don't think, up by 20 was never good enough and I don't think she was going to be satisfied unless we had 2 gold medals around her neck. And I'm sure she could watch our game tomorrow from the national championship and still pick out 100 things that we needed to work on for next season. But I think that's her way of motivating us to be better, that there's always something to improve on and there's always something to get better at. And for us, her motivation translated into a very successful season and careers for some of these girls.
Awesome. And now you're headed to Rio this summer as the head coach. What will be your approach this time? And is it going to be different, or what's your strategy?
Well, first and foremost, I think I'm going to take a lot of mosquito netting to protect against Zika.
Yeah.
No. Well, yes.
London was the umbrella for the rain, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, London was fantastic. It's a very different feel this time around because we qualified for the Olympics last summer. And when we went to London, we qualified in this last chance tournament on Canada Day. And literally 2 weeks after that, we were on a plane to London and we were going to the Olympics. So it was the first time since 2000 in Sydney that the women's basketball team had qualified for the Olympics. So we were on cloud nine. It was an amazing accomplishment just to get there. And for a few of those athletes, this was kind of the culmination of a career or lifetime of working towards this goal. So I would have to say we went into that, even though we had lofty expectations and we really overachieved by finishing in the top 8, it was very much we were very pumped to be there. This year, because we've qualified about a year out, and for the majority of the team, this is their second go-round. This is now their second shot at the Olympics. It is very much we want to do better. We want to medal. And I'm not too sure.
And beat the USA.
Between you and I'm not too sure medaling is a realistic goal, but we're going to go with it because, the media loves that. And, yeah. And I'm a little more like undersell and over-deliver. I think we have a lot of momentum behind us. We're playing some pretty darn good basketball from the end of last season, and quite a few young players that still have improved their game, and so we'll be ready, and we'll be really anxious to get at it.
So I'm interested in knowing, so you've had this team for a year. Mm-hmm. How do you practice? Like, they're all over the place. So
So we don't. Last time we were together was in August when we qualified. And then essentially of those 12 athletes, there's probably, we have 6 of them that are playing. You see in Europe, pretty much every country has a professional league for women's basketball. Canada really is the only one that doesn't. So we're in a unique situation in that we don't get to develop our players domestically through a professional league through the winter months. So all of our athletes have to go elsewhere to gain experience and to make a living. So we have 6 who are in France playing professionally. We have 1 in Russia. We had 1 in Australia. We had 1 in Germany. And then we have a couple athletes who are in the NC2A. So they're scattered all over the place. We'll get together now in middle of May. So all of those seasons are now completed. And we'll get together in May. And we'll have 3 different phases of training this spring and summer to get ready.
Where do you train?
We train out of Edmonton, actually.
Oh,
this is our 4th year now that we've been in Edmonton as sort of our home base.
Okay. Kelsey. Yes. So how has the U of S athletic program and Coach Lisa's coaching style impacted your education experience?
Well, first off, we are labeled as student athletes. We're student first and our athletics come in second. Being an athlete at the university comes with a lot of pride. Not everyone is suited to be an athlete at the university level. You have to have a good work ethic and really dedicated. So university has helped us be successful because we're traveling every weekend. We practice every day for a couple hours. We're allowed to take exams on the road, so we don't have to worry about rearranging exams or assignments, things like that. Secondly, Coach wants us to excel on the court as well as in the classroom, and she does this by setting little goals. This is one thing that comes to mind. So either before practice, before a game, she'll make you individually make a goal or as a team make a goal, and they're realistic in that so that we can get better and better as a player. So this relates to academics because my first year coming in, I didn't get my scholarship. So she's like, okay, so how can we go from a 60 average for your first year to a 65 or 65 to a 70? So each year we just made a little goal and it was achievable, and it's successful because last year we had 8 to 10 players and trainers that were on the first and second team all academic. And so that's a huge accomplishment. And you can just see how much dedication and perseverance that she has. She's so successful with her Canadian national team and with our team as well, so we can learn a lot from her.
And Kelsey was a academic All-Canadian this year, actually, for the last 2 years.
Good job. Awesome. Good job. Way to go.
Extremely difficult.
Last question that I always ask all my interviewers or guests is, what coach, teacher, whoever, other people in your life has been a great inspiration? Why? How?
I've had lots. Very lucky to, right from early on, I had strong female role models in my life. So my mom, my grandma, my aunt. And then through high school, I was able to have female coaches. And I think that's something that's really lacking these days. And I think it's really unfortunate that a lot of young girls don't get the opportunity to be coached by women. Simply by virtue of the fact that, for me, I know seeing those women as coaches really, you can't be what you can't see, right? You can't become something if you don't see it early on in life. And then in university, same thing. I had a tremendous female coach at McMaster, and I actually had a different coach for my first 2 years. And it's funny because I have probably I have some very, very funny and tragic stories from my first couple years in terms of what we had to do and how, the coach really dealt with the team. And then when Teresa Burns came to McMaster, that's when I was in my third year. And really, from second to third year, when that first coach left, I didn't know if I was going to continue playing basketball. And so when Teresa came, it was just like a switch was kind of flipped. And she just really knew how to ignite in me, I think, what it took to be successful. And so I got to see again what a great coach can do and the impact that they can have on someone's life. So yeah, I've been very fortunate that way to have lots of strong female role models, and that's really helped me throughout my career for sure.
Well, great. Well, this is the more formal part of the question and answer. I will open it up now to the audience and all the ladies and gentlemen that are out there. Is there a question that you would like to ask Lisa or any of the athletes up here? Trish.
I just wanted to know, how has women's basketball changed from your playing days to where it's at today, or has it?
Trish, you were involved way back with our program, right? When Ashley Duchak was around?
Well, we certainly...
Yeah, you were supporters, yeah.
Yes,
yeah. It's changed a ton. And, I think in Canada, for one, the amount of scholarship money that's available for opportunities for female athletes, and in particular in basketball, that's changed a lot. The exposure and the media attention at the CIS level, but then also internationally, has definitely changed and definitely grown, which is certainly a great thing to see. The level of competitiveness, a lot of our best athletes now are playing the sport, and a lot of those athletes are staying in Canada. So the other thing is the recruiting piece. So at the university level, you're recruiting across the entire country now, whereas before, back in the day, you'd really focus on, okay, what's in Saskatoon, Clavet, Warman.
I was in Clavet.
Lake. That's why I said Clavet. Actually, we had one player from Clavet play on our team. And Lake Lenore, I don't know if anyone's from Lake Lenore, but they had a hotbed because there was an amazing coach out there, and they had a number of athletes.
What do they eat there?
I don't know. Yeah. But even for our team this year, we had an international player for the first time from Latvia come here and, opted to, move her entire life to a new country to play, because the opportunities and to play in Canada is tremendous. To get the kind of education that you can get here and play at an extremely high level, there's very few places that can offer that. So things are really exploding. The support for coaches, like I said, we never had a full-time assistant coach or half-time assistant coach, and now we do. So the resources that are being directed towards athletics and female athletics is really encouraging.
7 revelations of Lisa. All right. Lisa, what is your most memorable win and why?
That's really easy. The one that took place about a month ago.
Yeah.
CIS championship.
Yeah.
Hands down,
Awesome.
Not even a close second.
Awesome. Great. And you've had a lot of wins, so that says a lot, girls. Good job. Number 2, what was your dream job growing up?
I thought about this one. I didn't really know. I didn't really have a dream job. Probably like to be a professional athlete. That was probably it.
Not a Walmart greeter, not a, none of that. Like when you're little, my daughter said, I want to be those greeters, Mom, that give stickers away.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I was super shy. So anything having to deal with people would definitely be low on the list.
One of the girls talked about motivation and how you motivate them, and hey, let's go for 20. Hey, let's go for 30. So what is your motive? I said, what's your motivating quote? What do you do to pump them up? And she's like, I don't know if I have a quote. So
I think they'd probably
Hold
be
the
better.
fort.
Hold the fort.
Hold the fort.
Score,
Yeah.
stop, score.
What?
Sometimes she'll just say like, we need one stop and then score and then one more stop, and it's like, it's not that easy.
Yeah, it's basketball lingo. You're like, what are they talking about? Yeah, nothing too exciting. Like there might be a couple F-bombs thrown in there, but I can probably count them on one hand, the number that I let go this year, I think. Yeah.
It wasn't bad.
Yeah, it's just to me.
You mentioned your mentor, but best coach of all time?
Yeah, it would probably be a culmination of all those tremendous coaches that I've had a chance to work with or be coached by. So Teresa for sure. I had a chance to work with Alison McNeil for 11 years. And she's just super inspirational because of her passion to teach the game and to really work with young kids. Like she's no longer a national team coach, but she works with like grade 3 and 4.
Wow.
And that blows my mind. I'm like, what do you do with little kids that small that you can't really talk to and negotiate with? And yeah, they can't do anything. Like just bounce the ball a little bit. Anyway,
They know how to
super fun.
dribble.
Yeah. So out of my realm completely.
Girls, who do you think is your best coach of all time?
Don't put that on them.
Come on. Yeah. Pet peeve.
Okay.
Girls are like, ooh, okay.
Yeah, they probably know better than I do. For me, it's always like human behavior stuff. So people who like to hear themselves talk a lot.
Uh-oh.
That tires me out. No, you're good because you're interesting. But people who just like to speak because they like to hear the sound of their own voice. Saskatoon, bad drivers and bad parking. They don't fit in the lines. Like
They're making them smaller now, though. You have a big truck. It's hard. Those are all good. I agree. What other sport besides basketball do you play or watch or would have thought you would have liked to have excelled in?
I played tons of sports growing up, so everything like, soccer, baseball, badminton, tennis, golf, and then, obviously when you get into university, you kind of all those things kind of get left by the wayside. So really, what do I still play? I still play golf. I'll play a little bit of squash, some tennis, and what do I watch? A little bit of golf, a little bit of tennis. Yeah. Not tons. Yeah, it's like you watch enough sport. You're in the gym.
You're watching reality TV.
Yeah.
Downtime.
Oh, yeah. Food Network.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. All right. And the last question, what's the last book you couldn't put down?
That's a challenge too, because again, the whole balance thing, but Pillars of the Earth.
There's a couple.
Amazing. Never thought I'd like it, but it's remarkable. Yeah.
Awesome. Well, with that being said, how was it? How was it, girls? Good? Awesome. Well, thank you. Let's give a round of applause to Lisa and her athletes.